Billy, there's obviously quite a bit to like offensively when you get 8 players in double figures and make 18 threes. What did you see kind of from the approach you took offensively?
Yeah, I mean, I think, we got down, I think it was maybe 9-4 or something, and from that point forward, I thought the rest of the first quarter we played really good basketball. I thought the second quarter, I think we had 6 turnovers. We got a little stagnant, got a little slow. But the third and fourth quarter, I think we played, with good pace and good tempo. We probably played at times a little too fast. But I like the intention, the way these guys are trying to play and share the ball and get down the floor and screen and cut and move for each other and make the extra pass. So when you do that, you're going to have multiple guys, as you mentioned, in double figures.
This is 10 games now where we've seen this style of play. I mean, do you think this is here to stay?
Yeah, I mean, this is how we need to play. I think there's going to be times, for DeMar. Like DeMar is such a smart, cerebral player, right? But he also understands, that he needs everybody, the veteran guys. And there are times when, he needs to get into the elbows and the boxes and kind of slow the game down for us times. And I thought we got a little bit too fast and had some plays that we were fortunate they didn't capitalize on. But stylistically, we've got to play that way with the force and the pace. And not so much, like I said before, we got to shoot it quick, but we got to go. And then I think, DeMar, like I said, is so smart. Vooch is so smart. There at times inside the half court, those guys can kind of get to their spots and manipulate the game and do what they've done for their entire careers.
Piggyback on Casey's question about sustaining it, what prevents you all from playing this way consistently?
No, we have to. I think when you get a body of work where you see, the rewards of doing that, that's what we've got to do. But I would say that in that second quarter, we didn't do that. I thought we got slow. We had too long of a stretch where we played like that. Some of that happened in Philadelphia, where we got a little bit slow. And again, we're not going to be perfect. I'm not asking the guys to be, but you don't want to have quarters or long stretches where you work so hard to get a 14, 15-point lead and it evaporates pretty quickly because we turned it over 6 times in the quarter. We really didn't have great possessions. We were taking the ball out of the net. We fouled probably too much. So you're always, I think, trying to get better from it. It's not so much that we don't want to do it or not going to do it or anything like that. It's just more along the lines of, can you consistently do it, and play that way? And I really thought coming out of the half, they did that. I mean, to the point where I thought we got too fast and we didn't really make great decisions on the break. We got a lot of shots blocked at the rim. We took some shots that, was like 1-on-2, 1-on-3 that really led to some. Those are the ones I think we can learn from, where, like I said, it is about playing faster with more pace, but it doesn't necessarily mean all the time we have to shoot fast.
Shooting efficiency specifically, what is the difference that you're saying from the first 10, 12 games to now?
During the beginning of the season, you mean?
Start of the season. Shots obviously fall.
Yeah, I just think over 82 games, there's probably stretches and times in the game we don't shoot the ball. We were shooting the ball so poorly all the way around, from top to bottom. It wasn't just 1 or 2 guys. Collectively, we were not shooting the ball great. And, I think that we're generating good shots. I think our paint numbers, quite honestly, have continued to elevate and rise as the season's gone on, which I think has probably helped our shooting and helped us play a little bit more downhill and closer to the basket. But again, I think I mentioned to you guys when we weren't shooting the ball well that I thought we were really underperforming based on what guys had done for their careers. And that goes for DeMar, it goes for Vooch, it goes for Zach, Kobe, all those guys. If you look, guys that have been in the league for 3, 4, 5 years, and those guys longer, if you look at their body of work, you have pretty good track record that's not going to stay, consistently for 82 games. There's going to be, at some point a breakthrough.
Billy, you played devil's advocate here. That's out of character for me, I know. 7-3 without Zach convinced me that you guys aren't a better team without Zach LaVine out there.
Yeah, I think I've said this before. Anytime you lose a really, really great player and a talented player and a gifted player like Zach, I think it always hurts you. And, I do think hopefully he's back sooner than later. I think that, pray his rehab and everything goes well for him. But I think with his skill set and the way he shoots the basketball, he's always been, to me, a guy that's been out in transition and is really, really good in those situations. I think the biggest thing for us, has been collectively can we get down the floor and kind of what I would say flatten the defense out and get into it
Or with him?
with everybody? I think that's one of the things we've been preaching all along. And, I think that Zach can play any style, because he can put on the floor, he can shoot threes, and he can get to the rim, So for us, with him coming back in, I think he fits into, how we're trying to play. Now, you may say, well, why weren't you playing that way in the beginning? Like, why it looks different? I think there's been some improvements that we've made of how we need to play. And, as long as we're moving the ball, passing the ball, not holding it. And listen, tonight, like we got into, we held it too long at times, and it wasn't just DeMar, or Zach or Vooch. And tonight it was like sometimes Kobe had it too long. Sometimes AC had it too long at times. Like, get off of it. It's just collectively what we've got to do. And I think that we've done a better job of that. But I'm certainly hopeful when he gets himself healthy, he can get back to where he was. Because I think with what he was dealing with his foot for a long period of time, I'm not so sure that he was ever right. So when you look at his shooting numbers or his finishing numbers, some of it may have been due to what he was dealing with and trying to fight through. But I believe that, if he can come back healthy, that, hopefully he'll thrive, a great deal in what we're trying to do.
Billy, what do you think of Dalen's minutes tonight?
I think he's been good. I think he's done a good job with his minutes. He's been very aggressive. I think he's learning. There are things like any young player, there's plays that he would like to have back. But, overall, I do think that, the opportunities that he's gotten, he's made the most of them.
He obviously is going to make some mistakes, but he had two possessions in particular. That one he came off his own defensive rebound where he just pushed it up, and you guys got good shots off both those possessions.
Yeah, no, the one he had, he tried to thread to Andre, that one. But you know what? Like, it was probably the right play. Maybe it wasn't executed great, but he, I think he's, one of the things that's hard for younger players is really getting to know personnel. Not falling for shot fakes, not reaching in, understanding who's crashing. You're in a rotation. Who's the guy you want to leave open? Who's the guy you want to close? Like, those kind of things he's got to improve on. But he's getting better at those things, And I think as he gets those opportunities, I think he'll only get better.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay, thank you, guys. Yep.